What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another Infinite Magicraid video. And in this one we are going to be talking about Zhongming. Zhongming is the new mythic hero, and we honestly have been waiting so long for this mythical hero, or a mythical hero, a new one in the game. So we're going to have a look at how he is. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't looked at this hero at all, but I have heard people are disappointed in Zhongming. So let's find out what that's all about. Let's find out what it's all about. Let's go through it. We'll go through his skills and then we'll go through his exclusives. I just hope it's not another essay, because it could take a while to get through. So set it on ×2 if it does. Just a bit of a tip there for you. Okay, so what is that? Loom slash? Come on. I know it's called Zhongming, but you don't have to put another. Okay, we're just going to call it long slash. Long slash. Basic attack does internal injury damage. Right. Deals 1 stage of damage equal to 4% of Zhongming's max health, and internal injury damage equal to 4% of Zhongming's max health to all enemies, with a 80% chance to inflict 1 layer of internal injury for 2 turns. This is getting increased 0.4, a 1.6% increase. We'll have to look at the exclusives, but 1.6% increase, like what, 5.6 and 5.6, that's not huge. That's something we're going to have to test. Because 4%, we all know like max health damage is not really a lot, especially 4% or 5.6%. Damage equal to 5.6% of Zhongming's max health to all enemies in internal injury damage, which will scale with mastery. Long Spirit's Breath unleashes a unique long breath to grant extra effects, and Spirit Possession summons a long spirit and lets it possess his body to increase internal injury damage dealt by self. Is this okay? We'll go through the exclusives in a minute. That may get better. Lahong's Raw active skill switches between the Lahong Spirit Connection and Lahong Spirit Possession status and acts for 1 turn immediately when a battle starts. Zhongming is under Lahong, I'm going to say Long Spirit Connection status. Long Spirit Connection increases all allies' damage reflect by 11%. For every 1 stage of crit damage taken by an ally, restores the ally's health by 3% of Zhongming's max health. Can be triggered up to 3 times by each ally, and the chances to trigger it will be reset after Zhongming takes action. Long Spirit Possession increases Zhongming's internal injury damage dealt by 48%. Okay, so if you've got the possession, he is going to increase his damage by 48%. So we're looking at like 8% now. Each time Long Slash is cast proactively. Zhongming gains 1 layer of Long Spirit Breath. When Long Spirit Breath is stacked to 6 or 12 layers, Long Slash deals 2 to 3 stages of damage. The cooldown of Long's Roar cannot be affected or refreshed. Damage reflect is up by 3%, and the additional damage dealt by internal injury is 9%. Okay, passive, Coiling Along. Zhongming has a 2000 max stance value each time after Zhongming casts Long Slash or Soaring Long proactively. I'm going to be looking for a really dodgy kind of name to this. Restores 50 stance value for every 400 stance value restored by Zhongming this way. Triggers Long's Growl once immediately. The accumulation resets at the wave transition. There is a 60% chance to inflict attack down 2 on all enemies for 2 turns. For targets of 4 or more layers of internal injury, each layer of internal injury inflicted by Zhongming deals internal injury damage by 6.6% of Zhongming's max health instead. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so when they've got they're full up with layers, we're going to just be dealing base max health damage of internal injury, which is scaling with mastery instead. All right, when there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Saga City Alliance allies except for Zhongming, increases Zhongming's internal injury damage dealt to bosses by up to 300% of the original. All right, so is he going to just be like a boss nuker? The chance is up by 40%, so we're getting the attack down 2 on all the time. Oh, defense down 2 comes into it as well. And he gets the shield, obviously. And then his final active skill, Soaring Long, deals 2 stages of damage equal to 5% of Zhongming's max health and internal injury damage equal to 5% of Zhongming's max health to all enemies. Afterward, there is an 80% chance to inflict Horrify for 1 turn. This damage is increased by 1.5% on each, so 6.5% on both. Twice, so like what, 13%? Need to see how the internal injury damage is going to be scaling with the mastery. We'll have a quick look in a moment. Okay, it's time to look at the exclusives. So far, it's a friggin' very confusing kit, and it feels... It's definitely... You're definitely going to have a full Saga City Alliance team, okay? That much is granted, and then that means that we're losing out on damage if we don't. Say if we want to throw in a Nicholas, or a Lydia, or whatever, or a Rato, whatever you want to throw in. Level 1, Long Spirit Connection increases the restoration effect by 50% if a target has full health, grants them a shield with the same value for 2 turns instead. Each target can trigger this effect up to 4 times each turn. If self is under Long Spirit Possession status, gains 2 layers of Long Spirit's Breath when casting Soaring Long. Spirit Breath unleashes Long's Breath to grant extra effects, but hang on. Stacked. Okay, so it's stacking it and it deals 2 to 3 stages. No way. When Long Spirit Breath is stacked at 2 to 12 layers, wait, it gains 1 layer of Long Spirit Breath. Okay, and when it's stacked to 6 to 12, Long Slash deals 2-3 stages of damage. Alright, so we're increasing the damage there as well with exclusive 1 in place. Level 2, at the beginning, well, because we're gaining of layers faster. Level 2, at the beginning of each wave, Zhongming restores 300 stats value. At the end of other allies' turns... Wait, at the beginning of each wave, he restores 300 stance value, and then at the end of other allies' turns, Zhongming restores 50 stance value, all counted in the stance value restoration required for triggering. What the hell does that mean? Long's Growl. Each time Long's Growl is triggered, grants all allies a shield by 20% of Zhongming's max health for 2 turns, with the same chance to inflict defense down 2 on all enemies for 2 turns. But, like... So every time it's triggered, it grants all allies a shield by 20% of Zhongming's max health for 2 turns, with the same chance to inflict defense down 2 on all enemies. What? Is that a 20% chance? Is that a 20% chance to inflict defense down? What does this mean? Someone explain, because am I just being stupid? I probably am just being stupid, which is granted. Level 3, when Soaring Long is cast, extra effects will be granted based on Zhongming's status. Long Spirit Connection, the first stage removes all buffs from all enemies. Okay, that's nice. But then that'll be PvP, and he's not a PvP hero, in my opinion, at a minute. After the skill ends, reduces cooldown by 1 turn, Long Spirit Possession. When Zhongming has 4, 8, 12 layers of a Long Spirit's Breath, increases internal injury damage inflicted by the second stage to 150, 200, 400% in the original, and refreshes the duration of internal injury owned by all enemies. Okay. You're going to be countered a lot by other arena teams. I mean, let's go and test it a minute. What? Can I not test? Gallery, Saga City, trial. Alright, so we're going to trial out Zhongling. Is it Zhongling? He is called Zhongling, isn't he? I keep forgetting his name. Zhongming. Now, this is in trial, okay? We've changed some of the stats slightly, and this is my idea of a team that I do feel would be very, very good for Zhongming, but it is a theory craft. Haven't got him built, okay? You're going to want him in the Devour set, but he's at 800,000 health, okay? He's also got 21,000 attack. The reason for that being, we have Rista in here. He needs to pair up with him, so he's getting that extra turn. And I'll explain how this is going to work. Also, Mastery is at 200%, all right? So 800k health, 21k attack. So he will need to have the highest attack in the team if you want Rista in on the action. And Mastery is at 200%. Now, this has potential of working in PvE content, all right? So say we're clearing through waves, he's still going to keep his layers. And the trouble is, he does need to have time in order to build his layers. So let's possess him. We'll possess Zhongming. Straight away, we're going to go into his second phase of that first active skill. And now we're going to come straight off the bat with Soaring Long to get that 2 layers straight away. Now, you can play this bit as you want, okay? This is going to be to show you how it's going to happen. I mean, you may even say to yourself, well, actually, I'm going to take Rista out. I'm going to throw in Nicholas so I can freeze the enemies during the turn so no one gets killed, etc. But now we have Big Jack here to boost his turn again. We then get to use a basic, which is going to put our attack up by another 1. We're now going to Rista with him to increase his turn meter a bit. We can maybe stun. I mean, you know, we're already getting a defense down anyway from Zhongming. But, you know, like, the basic attack is going to have Zhongming attacking again. We're going to be stacking internal injury layers. And we're building this up. We're now at 4 layers. And we get to boost again with Big Jack. And we're now at 5 layers. The damage is starting to increase. Remember, he isn't going to build these layers through other people's skills, right? Causing him to attack. He's not going to build that up. He just isn't. That's not how this works. It means it's proactive cast. It means you must trigger it. Okay, so we're going to use skill 4 again. We're now at 7 layers, and the attacks do get a bit better now. He is going to be doing more damage. He's going to be landing more internal injury. And you can see here, look, and now once he gets to 6 layers, we're really stacking this internal injury up. All right, this, honestly, I really feel like this has a lot of potential. Yes, it's going to take time to build it up. All right, it's going to take time to build it up. But is this the answer to Zhongming being a super carry? Once they take a turn, 10 layers of internal injury is going to do a ton. It's going to do a ton of damage, but it's building it up. And once we get to 12 layers in a moment, watch what happens. Watch what happens. You know, by the time we get to the boss, the aim is to be hopefully at 12 layers. Do we have that much time? I don't know. I mean, Rista may need to be taken out, or maybe Ben Austin, someone potentially. But now if we look at the damage that comes out of Zhongming, this final bit here, you know, we're doing, if that's consistent with the following attacks, like now Rista's going to be obviously paired up with him, and it's going to bring him out again for that big attack. And there's a lot of damage going on. It's a lot of damage going on, but he's not an early game hero. He would be a late game hero. You would need to have a very established account to be doing this with Zhongming. And don't get me wrong, that was a 1.8 or 1.87 million final hit there on that skill 4. So the damage is there, but you would need to have a very established account in order to make it work. So early heroes or early players, do not build this hero. You're not going to get the value out of him compared to other mythics out there, i.e. Nordak, i.e. Ben Austin, i.e. Narade, i.e. Nita. All right, those will all generally come before Zhongming. But there is potential, okay? There is hope for this hero, for Zhongming. Like, this is a lot of damage going on, but you would need to have a team dedicated to him. And for me, personally, the only way I can see it really, really working is this way. Is having a team built around him, you know, constantly triggering him to do this AoE damage, internal injury. And remember, even if it's against the boss, if you've got 10 layers of internal injury and constantly attacking like this, there is potential of doing some very nice damage. But again, you're going to be thinking, well, hang on, we have Indra, we have the Armu combo, etc., which is so strong. To beat that is not easy. But there is, like I said, potential for Zhongming. I do feel like he's not a trash mythic. I know some people are like, well, okay, yeah, he's very lackluster, he's this, he's that. But you can't argue with this kind of damage. You know, 1.9 million internal AoE. All right, but again, you're going to have to do it against a boss. And how long is that going to take? He could be because he's a defense-based hero anyway, he could be very strong in dungeons. He could be very strong in dungeons. But, well, I know we have Horrify, but yeah, maybe take out Rista for Nicholas, or maybe Ben Austin for Nicholas, depending on how you're going to build him. Tricky hero to build, not ideal for beginners. That's the best info I can give you, all right? But that is exactly, if I was building Zhongming, that's exactly how I would plan to use him. Build up on mastery and health, mostly. You would want to have him the strongest attack in your team, especially if you're using Rista or Ben Austin along with him, because that's the only way to make sure that they're guaranteeing that basic attack on their basic attack. So, yeah. Tricky hero to use, but does hold some high potential. So not as bad as what I initially thought he was going to be. So Zhongming, that would be the way I would use him. build him with a complete support team, have him dealing all of the damage. But will it be enough? If you've already got Zhongming, definitely try it. Definitely try that advice. Let me know in the comments if it works, if it did make him very, very useful, or if it was, or you found a better way to use him. Okay, so my verdict on Zhongming is he's a cool mythic hero. He does have a very cool kit, cool animation, and a great design. But early players or beginner players, do not even consider getting Zhongming. Do not consider getting Zhongming. Look to other mythic heroes first. Nordak, Nita, that kind of thing. Right, that's your best bet. But those of you who have got very established accounts, you may find a lot of use for Zhongming in that way. You may do. You may do. It's not guaranteed. I can't guarantee it. That was just a trial. But that is exactly how I would plan to use him. Okay, that's exactly how I plan to use him if I was going to build him. So I'll see all of you in the next video. Have a great day, even wherever you are. Goodbye.